Hey, how's it going? Nixo Development League. My name is Rock, and we'll be reviewing a game from Week 2, Match 2. Looks like it's Ulysses' team of people, and 30 seconds to Mosh. So we'll take a look and see how things went. So it looks like we're here on Infernal Shrines, and so once again, I'll just follow around the tank for now as we talk. So, Infernal Shrines, as you play this map, can be played in multiple ways. So that's something to always remember as you're getting all of your win conditions set up. We're looking here at our two win conditions from our teams. And so, Red Team has decided to go with a double support, meaning that they want long, drawn-out fights to be able to get kills over time and be able to push people off the point. This is very much so an objective-based comp. That is what Red Team's going for. They want to stand on the objective, win the objective, and then push with the objective. They've got their Hyper Carry and their Vala. They've got good Shrine Clear with Tassadar and Hogger. And then they've got probably the best combo of double support between Stukov and Uther. So looking over on the blue team here, blue team has got more of a split push harass type of game style. They definitely want to get single isolated picks. You don't pick Genji unless you want a team fight or get picks. Genji very much so is a very mobile hero and is very squirrely, as they like to call them, and can run around and be super annoying. So we'll see if blue team is able to execute their win condition and getting small isolated picks and using that as an advantage to be able to, whether it be getting picks to take camps or getting picks to win further material. Having Sylvanas means that you can get picks and be able to get kills with it. So, or sorry, you can take down buildings once you get your picks. So we'll see if that works out, especially with the global. So as we've kind of already seen, we've had a couple kills already for blue team here. One of the things that a weakness of a double support, and good job using your trait here, Anaressa. Make sure you start to knock it down. One of the weaknesses of a double support is that double supports tend to be only strong when they're together. And so getting them to split early to be able to take advantage of that and do some damage is really strong. Their double support right now should be able to handle a lot of what's coming through them. They said once they start getting a few more levels, they should be able to have some burst damage and be able to take care of that. So far I've been liking the rotations. I like the Genji already run up top to help gank the Dahaka, or help the Dahaka and try and gank the Hogger. Hogger's pretty hard to kill with the objective. So they finished the camp, and so you guys got to the objective first. Well done. So Red Team, one thing that you really want to do if you are an objective-based comp, where you're trying to win through the objective, you make sure that your team is here to fight on the objective. You can't afford to lose the objective as a team, as a double support team. You tend to not have enough siege to defend the objective. Sure, you can live through it with all of your heals and you tank it, but you really want to make sure that you're here to the objectives on time, especially if your win condition is to win the shrine to then push with the objective. So blue team getting here first is a huge advantage. They're going to get probably 20 of these minions before you guys get here. So good job, B-Man, there's a MowbWan, sorry, being there in the bush. Trying to make sure that you have things defended. So now this is where things get a little chaotic. So we want to make sure that, oh, okay. Let's back that up real quick. So, okay, so your job is tank, especially Nubarak. A Nubarak is a vision tank. A Nubarak wants to either use his stuns to get kills, right? Like a Nubarak pretty much only, when a Nubarak pushes E, either he dies or an enemy dies. So you really want to make sure that you're using him effectively. He is not a wall tank. Right now you're playing him as if he's a wall tank, right? What is a Nubarak going to do here? He has one stun and then he has to leave, right? So as a vision tank, you can stand here and make sure that you're not getting invaded and you're protecting your team. So this is good. But you can't stay in the fight forever. That's not what a Nubarak's good at. Like I said, Nubarak wants in or out. That's what I said, quick fights, lots of stuns, locking people down into CC. So right here, we're 4, and they're 5, right? So we make sure that we're focusing the right target. So if we're saying shrine, 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 that's fine, right? Because we almost got 20 minions here. But now we need to start paying attention. What are we doing? What's our team fight? Because here comes Tassadar. So they're going to have 5 before Dahaka's 5. So if we're planning to fight for this shrine, Dahaka needs to be looking at either a burrow, which he does have his Z up, so burrow here or a burrow here for an engage, or we need to start backing up and getting ready to take the fight that was favorable, right? So all of our stuns need to go on one target. It would be great to stun this Uther, because Sylvanas has already got all of her damage on the Uther, right? He's got all these stacks, all these things on him, so if you're able to potentially blow up this Uther, that'd be huge. It's going to be really hard to blow up the Uther, but Stukov just popped his Pustule, so he doesn't have his D, so if you can CC this Uther potentially as a team, you might be able to get a kill. And so Genji's already sliding in, seeing all the damage here, and it looks like MowbWan is kind of not sure what to be attacking or what to be doing. Like, he's kind of like looking for the shrine, looking for the stuff. Maybe he was calling in Dahaka. Here comes the Dahaka dig. But by the time this happens, everybody's too low, right? The double support has completed their objective, which is to be an unmovable rock, right? That's what the double support team wants to do. They want to create enough pressure that you are pushed off and you have to answer what they're doing or they will just win the game. They are so sustainy and tanky right now, they just pushed off 3 people. Sylvanas has no health, MowbWan has no health. By the time Dahaka dug in, it's just too late, right? And so that's unfortunate. I'm pretty sure you thought you were going to live there, MowbWan, especially since you still had your dig, but just something to be aware of, that it's like, feel free to dig out. Though it's not a waste if you're digging out to survive. So now that Dahaka digs in, this Dahaka might just die, especially if we get a Stukov puddle on top of that. So, oh, boy, doggy. Wow, okay. So right now, we're not playing to our win condition, and we're playing into theirs. So something to think about, blue team, as you're playing this map, is how do we make sure we get our isolated picks and things? You guys got to the objective first and got to 20, right? That's huge. Once they came here as 5, you need to find a way to shut down this double support. I don't know if you can blow up the Vala. You may not be able to win any team fights until you get to 10. Right? Because once you get to 10, you might be able to cocoon and isolate out the Uther or something to be able to get a kill. So with them having such strong shrine control, so it's like potentially what we should have done is gotten 20 and then maybe used our Sylvanas to push buildings or push stuff down. Or just take a fight together, right? That Uther was weak right here. We just didn't all engage and throw all of our buttons at together. So maybe try and clarify some of the objective and win condition or shot calling of what we want to do. So now, unfortunately, we're not going to be up in time to contest, so we're going to have to give this objective, which I'm glad we're at least trying to pick up some consolation prize. This is pretty good, actually. Remember, blue team, as you pull over this Immortal, make sure to have somebody that has either invincible frames or that can tank it. Let's see if MowbWan's got the dig down. So feel free to make sure that you get this. You can throw your Q out first, and as the Q is like spiking out, you can hit E the other way as soon as you see him leap, and he'll jump on you. So you make sure you don't get hit. So it didn't look like it got punished this time, but if they were ready for you, they probably could have stunned you with Uther and then put the silence puddle underneath you, and you would have had a bad time. So something to be aware of. The Punisher jumps every 15 seconds, so you want to be aware. The Punisher's going to jump here soon. Who's tanking it? Okay, we got double stun there. Try to make sure that we're spread out, because we ended up pushing all of our buttons and kind of still took a bunch of damage. So they got a little bit, I'd say a little bit more than normal on a first Punisher here. Typically, you don't get the whole building, but we grabbed the camp to try and put some split pressure up here, and we just unfortunately did not get enough out of it. So we're working together, working the camps. Good job controlling vision here, MowbWan. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to be making sure that you're protecting your team as the vision tank. As soon as you find something that's not safe, you dig away. It's how you the vision tank. So, camp for camp. We have a lot of homework to do. I'm glad Sylvanas is catching and doing the homework. Continue to keep scouting and keep finding them, MowbWan. Looking good. This is one of the weaknesses of your composition, right? Is if you get behind on the map, your wave clear is poor outside of Sylvanas and Dahaka, right? So if they continue to just out macro and out push you, you're going to have a hard time catching back up to 10s. That's why that first objective was so huge for you guys, because if they snowball first, it would be really hard for you to come back. But I think this is looking pretty good. So we can slow play it. We don't have to overextend, right? Like our power, so a lot of our power comes at 10s. Yep, good job digging away. I said, yep, that's a good scout. See, look, the double support team has to play together, right? This is where you can find an advantage. So now that things are cleaned up, right? Anaressa's finished cleaning up mid, and bottom is the one that needs help. We should be probably splitting off and getting Genji to just keep harassing this Hogger. Poor Direpants is having a hard time up here. So he's like, but if we can keep this Hogger under pressure, that might force this double support to split up. Because if they stay as a unit, they're very hard to kill. So right, like Genji can't do anything here. This is one of those things where it's like, how does Genji help anti-siege? He really can't. Genji should be the one like just catching free soak or off-soaking and harassing lanes. So just something for next time. If you're going to draft Genji, remember Genji is that roamer, ganker, catching soak person. He can wave clear a little bit, but like he's mainly catching soak versus having your main wave clear all in Sylvanas, making sure that you have that to be able to clear. So honestly, not too bad. That's unfortunate. I didn't get to see it Direpants, but it looked like that was a rough matchup already. So, right? So they can't do anything. They have to move as 4. So this is your opportunity again to try and find something or do something. We have 10s. Do we really want to fight them? Dahaka's digging in. Now we can look for a fight. It's a light bomb. It's a good stun. Well done, right? If you can shut down their supports, you'll be able to get kills. Good job using all your stuff. Way to come in, Direpants, to support your team. Great light bomb from BorntoShine there. Okay, so now Shrine's up. Let's take a look again at some of the other people. Feel free to keep clearing. You got Sylvanas clearing top. Sylvanas take the Mercenary Queen? Okay, she did. So if you guys took Mercenary Queen, you really want to make sure that we're pushing with the Mercenary Queen. I think I may have opted, if I was playing Sylvanas this time, I may have opted into Unstable Poison or Convert minions, just because you're the solo wave clear for the entire team, effectively. So if we are going to be taking camps and things, to make sure... But you're also the solo camper, which I guess makes sense why you took that. Yeah, it's fine. Just the team needs to be playing around whichever one you're doing. Like, if the camp is up, Sylvanas needs to be on the camp and also needs to be supporting the camp. Okay, so we get to the objective early. That's a... Oh, goodness. Wow. Okay. Let's back it up, red team. Okay. We're going to switch views. All right. So we get our camp, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So typically in double support, Uther's played by the main tank. So I'm going to assume this is main tank Uther. So if you're playing main tank Uther, one of the things you still have to do is you have to control vision. And so this build isn't really quote-unquote main tank Uther build, which, like I said, it's not all cut and dry. You need different talents for different things. But one of the main things that main tank Uther tends to go is Q build, because it gives you range, it gives you dismount, and it gives you a little bit of vision. So as you're walking towards this objective, we have no vision of anyone on their team, right? So someone on your team needs to bush check, because that's normally the tank's job, right? So if we want Uther to bush check, he can throw W from like here. Vala can shoot W or Q, right? Say it's like I probably would throw a Q if I was Vala, because W can help snipe the minions and I don't want to waste resources. Or Tassadar can throw an ability. But we can't... Oh, we saw somebody, right? So are we looking to fight? Because if we're looking to fight, we've got Stukov right now bottom clearing waves. So we're not ready to 5-on-5 fight. So we need to make sure that we're taking the fights that we want. And only that, but look at how split we are. You've got your DPS going to the right, and you've got tank and off lane going down middle. And so, unfortunately, we walked right into a bush without checking it. And that's a good attempt there from Meamzed to stop the light bomb combo, but we just get blown up. And there's not a lot you can do when your other support that's supposed to help your support isn't available. I'm actually also kind of surprised that you went the Divine Storm. I don't know if you needed that, especially if Hogger's going Shockwave and Vala is going the Shooty Shoot. being able to make sure someone's invincible and not die might be super helpful future-wise if you run this comp again. So, wow, Dahaka landed that. ISO, do they get more? They probably don't get any more kills here. Oh, yeah, they do. He ran in and died. One of the other things to remember when playing Uther in a double support, or just Uther in general, is if you don't want to die for free, but it's okay to die as Uther if you're trading, because then you can heal, especially if you're out of mana or whatever it may be. Uther should be the quote-unquote first one to die on your team, because he can still heal and do stuff when he's dead. So, okay, so as double support, we're now down. We're down about halfway. We've got our top camp pushing. The blue team is committed half their team here. So what's the call? What should blue team do here? Or red team do here, guys? For all the guests at home. Should red team try and force their way back onto the point? Should red team give and try and push for something else? Should red team take a camp? What do you think? I don't think there's necessarily a quote-unquote perfect answer here, because the strength of the double support is having two supports, and so now that you don't have one, it might be really hard to fight and contest over the point. So it's like, but you also want to make sure that you're getting an advantage somewhere, or at least getting consolation prize. And so if I was red team, I'd potentially be looking, especially if they take too long on this camp here, potentially looking to support this top or to steal this with your support. Because if you gank the global can't global in and stop you, and they might be stuck here for a while. So maybe you can get risky and go up here. If not, just clear out lanes and get ready to defend with your double support here on the bottom. This bottom building's probably dead because the wall's already gone. So we'll just do our best. Let's see what we do. Okay, so blue team decided, hey, we can get the shrine close and we can get more. So now this might backfire. Let's see. Okay. So we just saw Nubrak here in the bush, right?
Let's try that again.
So they started. So blue has decided to do this camp at 35. Interesting. So Dahaka doesn't have dig. Did Dahaka just dig in? Let's just cheat. No, Dahaka did not dig in. Okay, so Dahaka doesn't have dig, and we're invading their camp. Well, that was unfortunate with your E there. This might be really scary. If Hogger gets a good boop here into this silence puddle, someone might die. That's a great shockwave. They win the camp. Hogger's dead. Okay, so again, we have a double support, and we're not together. Right? I do think that this should have been punished. I do think you guys did the right thing, red team, in stepping up to fight at this camp. If they're not going to sit there and do that, let's look at the positioning real quick one more time. Okay, look how far you are, Hogger, from where your two supports are, right? And then maybe this wasn't communicated the best because Uther's not here yet. Okay, so Uther has 2 heals available. We're going to slow it down. Uther just went the wrong way or got body blocked because he has heals for Hogger. And then Stukov threw his heal, but it's got to bounce around so it can't reach Hogger. Yeah, this looks like a little bit of a miscommunication to me. Like I said, that's a good disengage. So, unfortunate. I do think that you guys could have capitalized there and punished them since Dahaka didn't have dig, and so he wouldn't be able to fight. That was a 5v4. You probably still don't win the objective just because they only needed to get 4 minions, but you would at least been able to do something more. Yep, that ball is safe. Watch out for the jump here. Don't have 3 people tank it. Guys, spread out. Don't everyone tank it. Oh no. Looks like we'll be okay. They didn't have the follow-up for it. That's a good idea, Direpants. Way to dig in and try and support, or waddle down and support. So, we don't want to be pulling the objective on not the safe side, because it's exactly what happens. If you have an opportunity to tank the objective, do it on the other side of the wall. So that way they're committed to you, and then they have to be able to jump back across, or the towers are going to shoot them. So just something to be aware of your positioning wise. Like, don't try and tank it on this side if you don't have to. So that's unfortunate. So they're going to get the wall here, and then you don't really have a choice. And then I think that's it. Hogger's already left, so yeah, they get the wall. And they're out. So, okay. So it's looking dire, red team, but you're still in this. You haven't lost any keeps yet. It's pretty much even as far as buildings-wise, just behind on the bottom wall here. So red team, you want to make sure that you start regrouping up and fighting together and using your double support power. Where fights are going too fast. You want long, slow, drawn-out fights. You want, essentially, blue team to throw all of their buttons at you, and you live, and then you just fight again, because you have double support. So, let's see if we can make that happen. Blue team, as you're sitting here in the driver's seat, you want to be making sure to be taking camps and trying to get things moving. You want to get to 16s, and you want to force an issue. So, let's see if we can get to 16s and find something. We're just playing safe at this point. Sounds like someone decided that, hey, we need to just soak, so let's not stop running at them. Let's go to the mid here. Way to use your empowerment here. Yeah, we're just playing a little bit tiny arms too far forward on Uther, which maybe contributes to potentially changing the build next time. Because, like, how often are you going to get to AA? Like, yes, you got lots of mana to AA, but, like, this is, like, solo Uther build type of stuff. Like, you're not really going to AA anything into this composition, right? A Nubarak dives in and blows up somebody, or Light Bomb, CC Train blows up someone. Your AAs aren't going to get a lot of value. So if you would have gone either Q or W here, you potentially could be able to poke or save or do something from range and not be so far forward. So, yep, someone's dead. Sylvanas pushes the building. Looks good, but once again, still not too far behind. They're going to steal this camp. There's not a lot you can do about it. So, just get 16s. Good job, Hogger, backing up to make sure you don't get ganked. Hey, we made it. 16s. Well done. Let's see if we can take a good team fight at this top camp, right? Oh, Direpants is a little bit overextended. Let's see if we layer our CCs well. So to kill him, we really want to make sure that the Stukov Silence lands underneath the stun. Good job waiting. Oh, that was really close, Memes, if you would have hit the stun here. So he's out. Don't chase. Let's get stuff cleaned up and get a camp. See, now this is one of those scary things. They're kind of trying to checkmate you. Sylvanas has trade up again, and the objective's top. And so, as a double support, we want to fight together. And so if they backdoor bottom, or use Sylvanas' trade to push bottom, you don't really have an answer. So, oh wow, blue team, you guys left? This is absolutely perfect for you to take this keep. This is potentially a quote-unquote free keep, right? Because the double support team has to stay together. Their strength is in staying together. So it's easier for them to stay together and fight on the objective. If they want to fight you down here, they have to bring their whole team. If they don't bring their whole team, you can just kill whoever comes because you've got a Dahaka that can run top and go here and start getting the things. So, I'm kind of sad the blue left. I thought for sure that was the play. But maybe you guys were just scared of giving the objective, which it happens. It's something that we have to look through and take a, you know, more or less take our advantage. You know, where's our strength? And our strength is in getting isolated single picks and in sieging with our Sylvanas. And so going into a 5v5 team fight is not really what we want. So we just face check this bush, Mr. MowbWan. Be careful there, right? They don't have as much punish, but like you don't want to be face checking the bush. We lost half of our health for free, and then we cocooned Hogger. So if we don't cocoon one of the two supports, there's a good chance that they will just live through this. So, let's see what your kill targets are here. That's a great disengage from the Tassadar. Dahaka's dug in. That's a good tongue. That's a good Silence Arrow. That's a good stun. Everything's a little chaotic. And Uther's the first to die, which is perfect for the double support team because Uther can keep healing while he's dead. Oh, Born. That's unfortunate. Yeah, so we essentially fought into their win condition, blue. That's not what we want to do. And so blue team, or red team, well done. Let's take a look real quick how we actually won that fight. Because, if anything, it looks like it was a slight overextension. So, let's see. So, we get our first stun here. We get the Hogger out because of the task wall, right? Task wall here is chain link fence. Yeah, it does damage per second. So, the task wall helps get the Hogger out faster. We also break this here. And so now it's a 4v5. You hear the Dahaka digging in. We don't know where the Dahaka's digging in still. He dug in right on top of you. Right? And so Dahaka lands a great stun. Right? This is good attempts. Flat flaps here. As you see a new Brack and then we're trying to dive in. Tongue secures. But because, like I said, when a new Brack goes in, he's either dead or someone else dies. And so this is a little bit overextended. You guys all turn and focus fire him very well. That's unfortunate. The Genji's X was like just barely off. It didn't hit enough. And so because not everything landed perfectly, we got our 4-man stun. We die, and that's okay because Uther's able to keep healing. And now Ulysses, without any CCs, can run at them. All the CCs are down except for Direpants. And now Dire's out. So, alright. Well done, Red. That's exactly what you need to be doing all game. Getting to the objective on time and fighting through all of their CC and all their burst. So, good job, Hogger, coming home and covering this so we don't lose keep structure damage. Alright, let's see. You get this shrine for free, and let's see what blue team does. Blue team still being up 2 levels, or a full level, still ahead. So, don't panic, blue team. Like I said, we made one bad team fight. That's okay. We can save this keep. Good job picking up all the consolation prizes. This is hard for them to deal with as a double support because they want to stay together. So picking up all this macro stuff is really good. Okay, so red team. You guys need to be getting something out of this, right? You're the unmovable object. Force them to make you move. Right? Or you need to force them to come to you. You guys need to be pushing with this objective. Don't run from this objective. Right? You wanted to be, if possible, you wanted to be right here, ready to kill whoever shows up. Right? If Tassadar was a little bit further forward, what you could do is, as soon as the Punisher jumps here, Tassadar could wall this side and Stukov could silence. Right? Use the Punisher to your advantage to get that engage since your tank doesn't really exist, right? Uther just res, so he's kind of far. So with the Haka showing bottom, yes, he can dig, but you definitely want to at least get this wall and hopefully push for the keep. The the Punisher didn't take any damage. So see if you can get a good follow-up CC here, because Anduin shouldn't be the one tanking that. So the fact that Anduin tanked that was an opportunity for you guys to get a kill. So, something to think about. We're pushing in here. We're probably about one more jump that we can maybe use as to our advantage. That's a good idea. We tried. Alright. So now they're counter-engaging on us. Hey, well done. It's a good idea, MowbWan, to cocoon one of the supports and look for a kill. Just everyone else was still cleaning up and doing homework. Right? It was a little bit too early. I think it's the right idea, especially if you're calling Dahaka in. Right? Dahaka's digs up. So, if you're Dahaka dig in right here, and then you put that cocoon on top of one of the 2 supports, and then Dahaka can come in and flank and get some good damage out, it would have been huge. Nicely done, Genji. Nice CC. Way to shut down the double support. Unfortunately, they might live here. That's just the strength of the double support for you. They didn't die. Oh, you were able to still get the gap close on them. Well done. So, yeah. Where was Dahaka? I guess we're getting bottom keep. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like if you guys are going to commit to that fight, blue, you should call Dahaka in. And then, yeah, red team, obviously we needed to back just a little bit sooner. As soon as we broke that first cocoon, see if we can get out so we don't end up giving too much here. So, that's okay. Once again, still in it. We're not too far behind in either direction. We'll speed up to the next big thing. Red Blue's going to get top for free. They're going to push for a keep, so you got to be ready to defend at the keep with the Savannah Strait. Good job holding the Savannah Strait till you actually got to the keep, Anaressa. So, 21. So this is 20 versus 20s, and we backed up. I like it. Don't force a fight you don't have to force. You can potentially look for this camp if they're there. Nope. Blue team, you need to figure out where they are. Red team, you need to figure out where they are. Because they just showed here, and then all of a sudden we just walked onto the camp and started taking it. How do you know they're not hiding right here? Who's checked this bush? They're not here. But something to watch out for. There you go, Ulysses. Well done. Okay. And there should be able to backdoor bottom. Yep, I was thinking you were gonna do this earlier when you had the objective top. So, all right, blue's got their advantage. We need to communicate if we want to fight, blue and red, because you just had two different people do two different things. You had people walking forward like they wanted to fight. You had people running away like they didn't want to fight. And so now Hogger gets a 3-man stun, and they can look for a fight. Good chastise here, locks them down. MowbWan gets light bombed. The Dahaka isolation hits one. Oh, the Dahaka isolation hits multiple. Oh, I didn't see it because I was in the other vision. No, it only hits one. Okay. So silencing the Uther means that the Uther can't push buttons. Well done. And yep, and we cocoon the other one. Well done, blue team. Right? We want to shut down the double support, take one out, and blow up the other. So, well done there. Uther obviously can still heal from death. This is... Okay. Yep. Yep. See what you can do. Uther's rezzed. So again, be careful here, blue team overextending. This is a 4v5. And then... This is level 20 Vala, so it's a mini Sergeant Hammer. Oh no. I was gonna say, don't get run down by the Vala. So, this is your chance to get to the shrine early and first, but you also have to watch out for this, unless you're okay giving your keep and taking the 5v4 fight. Don't be split here, blue team. Whatever your decision is, make sure you do it together. Because if you end up fighting 4v5 here, or 4v4, and you send someone home, they will beat you because they have double support. So make sure you guys are communicating your decision-making process here. So, I see 4 here. And you sent Dahaka. As soon as red team sees Dahaka, yes, he might have a dig, but as soon as they see Dahaka, red should be running at this. This is yours to win, red. Yes, you're not 4v5, but like you can push up into here versus the Dahaka with all of your heals and stuns and supports. So you guys should be pushing up to get this objective. Yeah, keep Ulysses' rage up, or hatred up, so that way she can Sergeant Hammer the objective here. You get red. You cannot lose this objective. If you lose this objective, you will probably lose the game. Red, you need to step up earlier. Your Hogger just got here. Okay, let's see it. Oh my gosh. Anub got stunned. Can we CC lock the Anub if Stukov puts the Science Puddle down? Oh my. Oh, chaos! Alright, let's change the vision. Go back. Both teams did really good things here. Okay. So I'm glad that you guys started stepping up, red. Blue, you guys are winning the objective. You're winning the objective. Force them to come to... Like, you want to get a pick, right? You want to get an isolated kill. How do you find your isolated kill? Right now, Nubarak has Cocoon, so we can get an isolated cool there. We have all of our buttons outside of the silence, so we don't want to engage for at least another 5 seconds. This is too far forward. Look where your team is. OB1. Right? You've got 2 people back here in the shrine. You've got Dire walking through vision to try and get a flank. And you're stepping up trying to Q. Right? If I was a Nubarak here and you want to engage, start with your Cocoon. Shut down which one you want to do so you can blow up the other target. Because right now you're walking at them as a 5 versus 1. So you want to make sure you have the right buttons up or the right target. So despite that you stun the Uther here, right? Dahaka can't contribute. Anduin is playing safe. Anduin's trying to light bomb or something. So you see the light bombs put on the Genji, right? So you guys have been practicing this combo of Anduin Genji. And so I don't know if TieDye heard it and it just immediately hit flat flaps. Nope. So we've got 2 stuns here. And as soon as they see Genji jump in, you've got Tassadar getting a very good peeling black hole. Right? And then the #1 thing to kill their double support comp is if you can neutralize their damage, or you can blow up one of the 2 supports before this comes. So we're super bunched here. And, oh man. You hit the silence arrow and the ISO kind of overlap. Oh my gosh. That's just stupid double support things, and they lived. That's a kill. Uther is going to die, but Uther can keep him healed. Ulysses is going to run him down because that's Sergeant Hammer for you. Oh, no. Oh, but you guys won the objective. Talk about chaos. So 2 for 2, won the objective, and now we're losing core damage. So to me, this is 100% that we didn't push to the objective soon enough, red team, because you guys probably would have won that objective and then you could have been pushing for keep here instead of having to do homework. Right? This doesn't get anything, so we're gonna play for the next one. So we'll go ahead and keep looking. So blue team's doing all the macro things. We'll go back to red team vision. Okay. So remember, red team, you want to stick together, right? They're showing 5 mid. This is your fight. You've got all your buttons up. If you can find a way to more or less force them to fight you underneath your double support umbrella, you win. If they find an isolated kill or can shut down your heals for long enough between the silencing arrow and the cocoon, you lose. So you want to make sure that you get a 2-stage fight on your terms. Make the fights go longer as a double support. So we're partially answering bottom and partially answering mid. This dance is fine. We're starting to wear them down a little bit with the Tassadar stuff. We're answering bottom. Anaressa and them are going to use their trait to take this down. Was there any chance that black hole hits? That seems like a little... Like, it seems like quite a reach on that black hole there, Tass. Because we took the level 20 electric fence, so you can just, you know, fish with the fence all day. Yeah, maybe you misfired or you misread the situation, but like that's... Or you thought Hogger maybe was doing the wall banging to your wall. But that's unfortunate. Like, you need that tool to be able to disengage and to make sure that your fights go in 2-stage fights. And so the fact that we didn't get a kill there or use it effectively is going to hurt. Good use of your unstoppable Anaressa. I think that actually got you out of the black hole. So this is a good engage. If you get your stun off here, right? You have the Benedict. Looks like, I didn't know if you didn't prime your Benedict. So you want to make sure that if you're going to be looking to engage with Uther like this, either it's stun, R stun, right, with your Benedict. So that way you have 2 stuns, 3 stuns to lock down the single target, or you can stun. But if you're going to take Benediction, make sure you're using it. This looks like you're looking for an engage, right? This looks like a 3-man stun, especially with the Dahaka showing top. So let's see if we get it. Well done, TieDye. As soon as you saw that the light bomb came out, you just said, nope, I don't want to deal with it. And look what happened. Vala, being a Sergeant Hammer, just sat there and poked down Anaressa, right? Speed this up real quick and go watch this little fight down here off to the side. Right? Look at this. Ulysses is literally outranging. Just outranging. There's literally nothing that Anaressa can do. It's just outranging. So blue team, if you guys called Dahaka to split push top, you guys need to leave. You cannot be splitting into a double support like this, right? Like, you've got Anaressa trying to push the building here with her trait, and you kind of left her to dry down here. The cocoon to disengage, right? Dahaka's now pushing the macro, which I'm cool with. Like I said, just try not to do too many things at once. If you guys wanted the macro, that's fine, right? You're going to get this building because of what Dahaka did. Dahaka's also going to throw his life away for what he did. Oh, Born. Okay, Dahaka lives now. That was pretty sneaky. Hopefully you don't die for it. Oh, don't everyone go back and save each other. Just be careful. Once you're out, you're out. Don't go back in and save everybody. You know, if you have to have someone be a sacrificial person, that's fine, but don't throw everyone's lives at it. Oh, MowbWan, be careful here. You're taking a 4v4 fight down your main DPS. This is not the fight you want. Oh, light bomb. If you can get the Vala though. Do you have rewind? Rewind's coming up. You might be able to lock down this Vala. Stun missed. Oh, well played, TieDye. I'm pretty sure Ulysses lives now. Yep. And, oh man, it's going the other way. Yeah. MowbWan and friends, just look at your timers. And Anaressa was almost up. We forced this 4v4 fight when we have stuff going towards their core. The objective's about to spawn. Like, this is just a fight we didn't need to take. I think this is just us getting over aggressive. And then, like, it's okay. Yeah, let me go back to New Vision and go back for a second. Like, it's like a Nubrac's job, truly, is to be, like, you can see that they're coming on the minimap. So as the vision tank, MowbWan, as soon as you see them, you need to essentially, every time you see an enemy, the decision needs to be engage or disengage. Because, like I said, a Nubrak only goes one way, and if he uses E, he either kills someone or he dies. So you need to make sure that you're working together with your team. There's no way any stuns you throw here are going to be followed up on to get a kill. Right? Subzero's burst damage being the X-Strike, and X-Strike's not even up. BorntoShine can maybe reach you with a long-range Chastise, and then Dahaka might be able to waddle up. Is this speed Dahaka? No, this is defensive Dahaka. So like he can't walk up here to follow up. So this is an engage you just don't want. If you wanted to scout and find where they were, great. You found them, dig away. Right? We don't want to take this fight. We're down a player, and we have ults are down. Isolation's down, light bomb's down, everything's down. This is just a fight that it's like, okay, let's wait and see if we can get them to commit to this choke and then do something. But what we did is we walked into their 4-man and got punished for it. Right, this is a good idea, trying to get on Ulysses, just didn't work out perfectly. If we would wait a couple more seconds, right, for the ISO and the X-Strike and the light bomb, maybe we could have made it work, but it just feels greedy to me to try and force that fight. All right, red team double support, you won, right? You won your fight. What do? There's 3 dead. Go core. Go core, double support. Go core. Get in there. You have Sergeant Hammer, Vala. Go, 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 go. Hit core. Hit core. Sergeant Hammer, Vala, go. Okay, if we're going to do a core, all-in core rush here, I don't know if you have your trade up here to reborn. I'm guessing you do by the fact you're running at them. Does my UI show if you have the trade up to be born again? I don't know. We'll find out. But if you have your trait to come back alive, that's fine. You can die like that. Just keep Vala alive. Right, everything on the Vala. And oh no. Oh no. Disaster. I don't believe it. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's painful, Ulysses and friends. Oh my goodness. Okay. When an all-in core is called, you need to position around the core in a crescent moon shape. You want to be essentially positioned around the core so that way you can hit the core from every person without getting hit by core mechanics and while protecting the most important person on your team. When you call core here, the most important person on your team is Vala. It's going to sound terrible, but everyone else on your team can die. Vala has to live or you will not win the core. So if we're going for a core call here, we want to position accordingly. Both the bruisers here is fine, right? Because we don't really want to come here and get hit by the tank, by the building. So if we want to be spread out nicely to be able to defend it, at worst, we could put Hogger down here and put both the supports over here and leave Vala here to turret. Because once Vala's at max hatred. Vala has infinite range with the stupid level 20, right? So we probably shouldn't be getting hit by this frozen either, but we were probably excited about winning, and so we started winning. We're getting hit by the tower here, right? That's 3 of us getting hit by the core mechanic again. Okay. We're running away, splitting our heals. Oh, did we? Oh no, we walked into the silence puddle. See, like we're peeling the wrong things, right? Like, sure, stunning this might kill the Dahaka, but what I need is to make sure that Vala lives. So if you instead, Uther, stun the Sylvanas instead of the Dahaka, right? Like instead of trying to go for the kill, focus on hitting the building, we probably would have been able to get a win here. Because as soon as Ulysses dies, it's over. That's so sad. So close. Well done, blue team, to pull up that kind of defense. That's just nuts. That's a pog moment for everyone else, but it's real sad for red. All right, blue, you just run and go home. Yep, because you already got stuff pushing core. GG. Dang, that is a painful one to lose to. Sorry, Ulysses and friends, but it was a great game. And so I think red team, just work on your double support structure and realizing where the strength of your double support lies. Because every time you started fighting as a group later in the game, like the first, like, I don't know, I'll say levels 13 through 16 were really painful. And it's mainly because we didn't fight together in our double support and push in together on the objective. Late game, we started pushing and fighting together, and blue team stopped playing towards their win condition, which was that macro isolated pick. They started running at you, right? They took this fight up here where they ran at you 16 versus 14, I think. They had a chance to take this bottom building, and they decided to fight you up here, and then you won that fight, and were able to push and get this building for free. You got the whole wall here. We slightly overextended, and then we got punished for it. But I think overall, that both teams tried to do their best to execute their win condition. Just don't give up and stay focused on what's good and what needs to win. And once again, if you're going to be doing a hyper carry Vala type of situation, Vala has to live. And so at that core defense or that core call here, make sure that the Vala is the one that gets all the heals and stays alive for the entire duration. All right, fun game, great recommendation. Let's quickly look at talents. So we'll start with blue team. So different targets. This is okay. It can be hard to get value sometimes, but it's fun. Yep, this is a good one too. Anduin kind of has a couple different builds, I guess, so it can be done in different ways. Where is Anduin? Why can't I find? There we go. So Anduin has a couple different builds that you can do here. If you want, you can go all shields, right, with W build and pinging W to go with your W here. This one here, I think because they are double support, you might be able to land more of your where you can pierce. I don't think you really need it with how your comp's playing. The burst damage remote compass is fine. This one here, blessed recovery to taking high damage. I don't know if this got value. I would have to go back and rewatch the game. But my thought would be that you probably won't take damage as Anduin in this composition. They're not diving you, right? They're gonna blow. They're double supports. So they're gonna move together as a unit, and they're gonna pretty much be a front to back. They're gonna attack whatever's in the front. Without even looking, I could say that Anubrak has the most deaths, just because that's how they win. They're front to back composition. So unless Dahaka or Genji ran in first, like, you probably won't be taking this amount of health damage. If you were to be against like a burst dive comp, I can totally see this, because then you would need it to live. But I don't think this got a lot of value. You probably could have gotten away with either Desperate Prayer or Binding Heal, depending on which one makes sense. I agree, your light bombs are good. Light bombs are on target. And then, yep, being able to get speed, that's what makes Anduin fun. Sure, why not? I think either one of these would have been fine. I don't know if Leap of Faith, a second charge, helps you really, right? Same idea. You only need to use it once, which is hopefully to save Anubrak from dying. And then level 20, upgrade Light Bomb. Sure, sounds good, especially since you're using it on the Genji. If you weren't using it on the Genji, Censure would have been good, just giving you a route too. Genji things. I'm not a Genji expert. but looks good since you're using that in combination with the stuff. Claw's good. Make sure you're charging this more. I didn't get to watch you closely, but make sure that you're getting charge for this, and it only works when you get deflect. So feel free to abuse the towers and things to make sure that your Dragon Claw gets charged more often, so you can use it more often. I agree with the spell armor. In a Tassadar, it's pretty good. It is AA Vala, but I don't think AA Vala is going to attack you. So you could have gotten the deflect shield, especially if you're going the Dragon Claw. The deflect shield might have been strong. X-Strike's good. X-Strike helps you get a burst kill, which is what you need with a Nubrak. Single target damage, burst damage, all good. Deflect damage. I don't know if you're going to get value out of this one. Maybe? I don't know. I'm not a Genji expert, but this to me doesn't look like you get tons of damage out of this one. Just because it's not like you're into a Tychus or a Tracer or a Li Ming. Something where like you can consistently get additional bonus damage when you're blocking. Right? You might be taking constant damage from standing in the Tassadar crap, but it's only 33% of the damage of the Tassadar crap, and it's a slow dot damage. So I don't know if that gets a lot of value. I probably would have gone for either the Final Cut or the Steady Blade, just because of how bunched they were. You may have been able to get multiple of these. And then I 100% don't agree with this. So A, it didn't get finished. So I'm not sure if we just didn't, spam deflect early game, but they're going to clump so hard as double support. Your X-Strike could have gone off multiple times in team fights where you've gotten it over and over and over again just because of hitting 3 or 4 targets. Right? It reduces its cooldown by 10 seconds, so you need to hit. If you hit all 5 targets, you practically can X-Strike again for free. Right? So it's pretty good. Because I think the way it works is each enemy hero hit by X-Strike reduces his cooldown, so if you hit multiple, I think you can use it again, right? Like, so if it's each swipe of the X-Strike. So, alright, on the next one, Sylvanas. Okay, so we went overall X from AAs. Yeah, I think that's okay. They don't really have a tanky, beefy boy, but in the same way, you're into double support, so it might be harder to necessarily fight in a front-to-back type of nature, so this is probably fine. Once again, I said I like the Mercs idea since you're the solo Mercer, so maybe you needed this to help fight Mercs, and it also helps your macro strategy of pushing harder. Just one of the things that's hard is obviously your wave clear early game can be hard when you don't have wave clear outside of Dahaka. I'm good with this. You're just getting more burst damage for your front to back. Do you have the only armor rip on your team though? Okay, I think you have the only armor rip. I don't think Dahaka took the armor rip talent, right? Because this would be it here. Yeah, he didn't take the armor rip. So once again, something to always think about. If your team lacks someone that can rip armor, feel free to take it, so that way you're able to do more damage. Being the only person with armor rip on your team available to you, I think this would have been huge. Right? Like, sure, you get the cool double teleport, right? So you can make plays and do stuff. And potentially it helps you win the game at the end when they made a mistake. But having the lowering armor really hurts Uther. Uther's heals aren't very good, but he gives armor. So just something to remember is that if your team has the opportunity to have armor rip is just flat percent damage, right? So if you throw dagger on someone, they take 25% more damage. And then anyone that's around him takes 10% more damage because it spreads the armor minus. So 25% more damage compared to, I don't know, I'll say blinking around. So just something to think about. If your team has armor rip and you're the only one available, I would take it. You use this really well. Well done. Will the Forsaken got you out of dodge. And then I agree, taking this or bolt. Obviously, if you take Deafening Blast, I mentioned in my last video that it's really hard to get value out of this. If you practice it though in a double support, it could be like brutal. Just because if you hit one of the supports with this, like they're pretty much not getting to push buttons for 6 seconds. So, right, because the silence lasts for 2.5 seconds, and then you get to increase it by 50%. So I guess it's 4%, 4 seconds. So, all right, last person on blue team is a Nubrak. Okay, a Nubrak. I don't know if I like your build. So at level 1, you would have seen that Vala was AA and Tassadar was W. They don't have a lot of spell armor or spell damage. I probably would have gone either Beetle at 1 to help with my pushes, or Regen Master. Regen Master doesn't do a lot. I 100% admit it is not great. But it's the only talent that helps you live on the tier because they don't have any spell damage. So taking Regen Master here, you may not finish it till level 18 or or level 20, but more health means you might live compared to spell armor that doesn't really block anything. I'm guessing because you went W here, you went W all the way across. I don't mind the movement speed here. It's like it can help you as far as positioning and repositioning. I like Underking into this composition, not because of the range, but because it does more damage. Right? Underking gives you 100% more damage, so that means your E will do double damage. And so since you're trying to blow up somebody, being able to get a little bit more damage out potentially gets you the blow up. And then 7 here, it's the way this is kind of tricky. It only works with ability damage, and so yes, you get more W's off because of Tassadar's W build, but you don't want to be living in it to get more damage out. So I don't know. Maybe I'd have to go back and look a little bit more closer and see if this got value. This whole combination of W's. I just think that this is hard. Like, as I'm like, you get more. Like, this gives you more shields. Like, I see what you're doing because you get more shields means more damage here. But like, does the more shields help you live versus the sustained damage? And I don't think it does. So I probably would have seen Subterranean Shield just because you push the button and you get shields. Cocoon was good. Obviously, if you go all W's, you got to pick W here, which is fine. And then I'm glad you took Epicenter. It's the only good talent. And rewind. All right, that was a lot of time. Let's go red team real quick. So main tank Uther. Like I said, the build is usually Q on 1, Q on 4. 7 is depends on what you need. I didn't get to watch real closely if you used cleanse often, being the only cleanse on your team. You either need to take the cleanse here or have divine shield or both. So taking cleanse makes sense. Once again, I'm not sure how well it was used. I would have to go back and check. But making sure that you take the button, you use the button. Divine Storm, I don't know. You got some good stuns. It got some good value. But typically in a double support, you need to live, and so giving Divine Shield to somebody on your team or giving Divine Shield to your Vala probably wins you the game, especially at the core there at the end. Well met, that's fine. I think it's the right one. You can reduce damage. Spell Armor can be good a little bit, but doesn't really matter. Benedict, yep, just make sure to push the button and use your combos for your stuns. And then I agree with Resurrect. I don't think Divine Hurricane usually works very well. So, all right. Next up, Vala. Vala AA, yep. And then, yep, bonus damage for AAs. AAs with movement speed. Sure. Spell armor. I don't think you need spell armor here. Maybe you do. Genji does spell damage, right? Sylvanas does spell damage. I guess that's fine. I was just thinking you might want Tempered by Discipline, but I guess if you needed the spell armor to live through the burst, then that's probably fine. Manticore, AA, yep, all good to go. Tassadar, W build, Fence, W build, Black Hole, W build, Q. I think either one's fine. Q's nice because it can help you turn on a new Brax since he's diving in on you, so that's good. And then Fence, I agree. Hogger, Rage, Seeing Red. You didn't go Hortipult, so you don't want Garbage Fire. Yep, that's fine. Hortipult, Pummel, yep. Headbanger, yep. And Anger Management, yep. Good roll those. Yep, that's fine. If you're not comfortable with no control, that's fine. And then lastly, Stukov. So I think in double support it doesn't matter what you go for Stukov, just because he brings stuff. You can have certain niches, Like if Stukov needs to be more of the burst, you can go like the trait to give yourself more burst healing. Obviously, with Uther providing the burst, you can be the sustain. So going all the sustain talents and then being another DPS essentially with your ease looks good. When stunned or rooted, this is huge. This probably saved you a couple times, especially with all the CCs that they're doing with the new Brack. And then top off, sure. I don't know if you needed this. You probably could have went controlled swipes as well to help with some of those engages when they were diving on you. You could have had multiple flap flaps to survive. But top off's fine too. Sweet. Great game. Really close, back and forth. You could see when red team was playing to their win condition, they were winning. When blue team was playing to their win condition, they were winning. And it all came down to a core defense and a couple little plays back and forth, and I think red team wins that one. So, good job, guys. Good job, both teams. Hopefully you learned something. This is Rock. Catch you next time.